In this video, I'm gonna share with you guys how to spot absorption, which took place right here using two different methods. Now, the first method we're gonna talk about is gonna be with the footprint chart, and the second method is gonna be using bookmap. All right, so here we are looking at a 1 minute chart and we're looking at the market. We see the market continually crashing lower, and you might say, Mike, this does not look like much of a crash. Well, if we look at the S&P 500 before the market opens, we actually have a drop of 86 points going from roughly 8:05 down to about 8:35 a.m. Now, that was Monday when we saw the markets absolutely selling off. And one of the questions I pose is, how do we know the market was going to get a tradable bounce right here? You might say, Mike, that is not much of a bounce. Well, let me show you that yes, indeed it is. From our white line right up here towards the high, that's roughly 18 S&P points. One single contract, that's roughly $900 for one smelly little contract. Now, one of the things we're going to do, I'm going to remove this white line right here, and let's dive down into the footprint chart real quick. Now, if you're unfamiliar with footprint charts, there'll be a video linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen where you can learn more about footprint charts and a specific strategy for those. But think about this, right? The numbers on the right-hand side represent orders on the ask. All the numbers on the left-hand side represents orders transacted on the bid. So whenever an order is transacted on the bid, think about that as an aggressive seller. When orders are transacted on the ask, we want to think about those as aggressive buyers. They said, you know what? I want to get in right here, right now. So what is specific about the market bottoming out right around that area? Well, for that, let's rewind and go back in time just a bit. And I want you guys to focus on a couple key things. Right down here, we can see the delta of each bar. Now, one of the things I want to pay attention to is anytime I see an outsized delta number. For instance, 637 is much larger than any other delta that I see around it. And we keep scrolling back. You can see that holds true for quite some period of time. You might say, well, Mike, 637, the market never turned in reverse there. No, that is only one warning sign that we could be coming into an area where the market may start to see value and want to try to get a tradable bounce. So if we continue to scroll back forward down towards the lows I showed you earlier, notice what we have right here on this candle at 8:25 and 11 seconds. What do we see? We have a candle with very high delta, negative 656. Now I'm going to zoom this candle up just a bit so we can see this a little bit clearer. And I want you guys to pay attention. All along the area right down in this candle, notice what is taking place. Look how large the numbers are on the bottom of the candle versus towards the upward part of the candle. Now, that is only one part of the equation, right? And we know more orders were transacted on the bid side, meaning aggressive sellers, because we have a negative number on that delta print. And if we look right here where this yellow line right here is, this is essentially the point of control of that candle. This is going to be the price level that has the most amount of contracts traded at it. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and draw a white line right across that area. Now that we have that concept in place, let's go ahead and go back in time and let's look back here where we had 637 to the downside. I want to go ahead and draw a white line right there. Now I want you guys to notice something different. All right, did we ever break back above that line? Yes or no, right? It's a very easy if-then syntax. If we did, well, guess what? That could be a sign that the sellers were being flushed out, and now we're going to get a tradable bounce. Now, when we fast forward to the area that I showed you in the beginning of the video, notice what we did. The markets, we came back down a little bit lower. Then what do? We were able to regain that high volume area on the candle that had an abnormal amount of delta compared to the other candles around it. Now, what I really like about this is, one, if we go ahead and we enter as the market breaks right above the point of control of that candle, we can put our stop loss right below the previous candle. Now, that would look something like this. If we went one tick above it, that would be a setup where we could risk roughly 2.5 points. And then we can just simply try to ride this and see, can the market continue to go higher? Now, there's a couple ways in which we can try to manage this trade. One, we can have a predefined target, or two, we can look at the candle we got in. Did the delta actually start to firm up? Meaning, was the delta more positive than the candle that, basically clued us in that we need to start looking for absorption? If the answer is yes, okay, I want to keep in the trade. But as soon as I see a candle that actually has less delta, for instance, we went from 226 to 163, that is a warning sign that, hey, maybe the market is going to start to pull back here just a bit. So from that point on, I want to move my stop loss right below that candle. So now what I did is I went ahead and put a horizontal line right below this candle, because now our stop loss would be at that location. Now, if you notice, one of the things, right, if we got in right here and we end up getting stopped out of that trade, we have the potential to make 7.5 points. Keep in mind, we were only risking 2.5 points. So already that is a very favorable reward to risk ratio. But now we're going to continue to go forward. What do we see? The next candle has even less delta, and then the market comes down and dings us out. Now, unfortunately for us, the market does at that point continue to rip up higher, and we're going to see that it goes all the way up here, and then we see the delta flip once again. Now, the key takeaway from this is not necessarily that we have to get every single tick, but is there a system in which we can put in place in which we can identify absorption by using footprint charts? Now, a lot of platforms have footprint charts. In NinjaTrader, they're actually called volumetric bars, and you'll see them if you go to your data series, and you must have a lifetime license. Now, there are third-party vendors that also sell footprint add-ons for the NinjaTrader platform. Now, let's come over and look at bookmap and see, can we identify absorption? Now, the one benefit we have with bookmap is we can sit there and look at the resting orders on the book. We can see that right down here, we have over 400 contracts sitting, and that's coming in at a price point of 51.30. Now, if we flip back over and look at the footprint chart, the area that we identified was the same exact level. Notice 51.30.25 was the point of control in the candle where we first identified the absorption using the footprint chart. So essentially, it's the same area. However, using bookmap, we were able to identify this level well in advance. Now, what I'm going to do is, as I'm in bookmap replay, I'm going to speed this up a bit, and we want to see how the market reacts as we start coming down towards that area. Can we spot where the absorption takes place? And I'm going to go ahead and click on that real quick, and we're just going to wait for that area to actually come up. I'm going to speed this up here just a little bit more, and you're going to see the market starts to drop quite rapidly. We can see that big order coming in right there at 51.30. Now, if you look, notice what we have right there on bookmap. Now, this is one of the things I really like about bookmap, right? One, I can see the absorption here. How do I know? Well, the larger the bubble is kind of very similar to what we saw when we were looking at the footprint chart. When we have a big red bubble, that's signifying to us that we have a lot of delta or a lot of trades, a lot more trades that fired off on the bid versus the ask. So instead of trying to read these numbers, looking at bookmap, it's a lot easier to see visually on the chart. Then with bookmap, we had another part of my favorite setup. We get this larger bubble, then the market goes down, and look how small the bubble is right below the larger bubble. It is so tiny compared to that large bubble. And what that signifies to me is the market tried to probe a little bit lower, and there just wasn't any more sellers. So as soon as we started coming back up towards the top of the bubble, we could essentially hold on and see, all right, can the market continue higher? Now, something we didn't have using the footprint charts is, where do you think would be a good level to look to target? Look what we have right up here. We have a lot of resting liquidity right up here. So in my personal opinion, it would make sense that if we're getting in down here where the bubble is showing us that we have absorption near a large resting liquidity order, then is it really far-fetched to think that we can come back up to the next liquidity level as well? For that, I'm going to simply hit play, and notice what we did. All right, we came where? Right up. We just barely tested that 51.45 price point. And if we come back over here, notice where we came to, right up to 51.45. And that's something we can see ahead of time with bookmap. And if you look at the difference between these two trades from where we exited using the footprint chart. Now, usually when I'm targeting the liquidity, I try to get out, 4 to 6 ticks ahead of that area, which would put us right around 51.44. If you look at the difference, that is an additional 6 points for one E-mini S&P 500 contract. That would be about $300. Now, if you guys would like to check out bookmap and save yourself a little bit of money, make sure to check out the link in the description box down below.